Good morning, guys, girls, members. Hope you're all well. Welcome to the next episode of the Sunday Routine by the Trading Field. What I'm going to do today is just go through some of the markets that I'm focusing on for this week. There's a few that I'm missing out. So Aussie dollar markets at the moment are in freefall. Hopefully looking for a little bit of a slowdown and a pullback before actually looking to enter this market on the short, whether that might be this week or next week. So those ones I'm going to leave out. So the ones I'm going to focus on is the markets that I believe are coming into play potentially this week and where we can expect these markets to go. So kicking off with the JPY pairs. Okay, so kicking off with JPY pairs, and let me start on the higher time frame. So looking first of all at EJ. So EJ, there's been a lot of bearish momentum lately. We've also broken out of a previous range, taken out that support as well, which was located around that 124 level. Now we've had a bit of a rejection, okay, on the daily candles in terms of the 3-pin pattern, a big shooting star candle, and a good day's worth of bullish momentum. Opening up a little bit lower today is actually giving us that opportunity to get in this at a good price. So we're going to be looking at entering this market to take this market up to around that 124 level, maybe a little bit higher. Before around that point, we will be looking at shorting this market and then taking that next downward leg for a stronger Japanese yen. So we'll be waiting on this one. As you can see on the setup, we have got this sort of head and shoulders pattern that's come into play. So obviously looking to get in at the opportune moment, what we'll do is we'll jump down to the hourly and we'll be focusing on the trend line that we've currently got in play, and obviously this major level of support that we've got sitting here as well. So we'll be looking for entries around here, targets around 124, maybe 124.25, with a risk reward, hopefully, depending on where we actually get the entry on this one, hopefully around 3 to 4 if we're lucky. Now, similar scenario with GJ, okay, so if we just jump into the weekly, which is where we always start, you can see this bearish momentum really pulling in now. Obviously, we've created another lower high here. We've got another lower high that's come in here, and we're now sort of heading downwards again. Now, because similar scenario, we have actually taken out that level of support, we do believe that we do need to come up and retest this level, okay? So we do believe we need to come up and retest this 144 level. So again, with GJ, we're also going to be looking at that intraday long position as well. Depending on the entry, hopefully we can get risk reward of around 2. But I'm just going to wait for that sort of signal on this hourly chart to actually identify when we can enter this market safely. So we'll keep you posted on that one. We then have USDCAD, okay, so USDCAD jumping onto the weekly. As you can see, we've come into this Fibonacci zone, okay. We had a big rejection off of the 1.3650 level, and we've come into this Fibonacci zone now, and sort of rejecting this major 1.35 level. So I do believe that we are due a pullback on this market. Where it sits right now is not an opportune moment to actually short this market, but potentially we could be looking at shorting this market if we get a pullback to that sort of 1.3450, maybe up to 13470 if we're lucky, to actually take this market lower into the sort of 1.34 levels, potentially even this level of minor support around that 1.3350 level. So again, about 100 pips or so on there, with hopefully, if we can get it, a risk reward of sort of 2 to 3. Euro market. So euro to me looks quite interesting. We've got this euro Aussie dollar at the moment jumping in onto the weekly again. First of all, you can see that we've created a lower high again on this market, okay, around this point here, created that lower high, and now we're sort of ranging in between the 1.6050 level and the let's just call it 1.58 level. Okay, so we're in this sort of range at the moment. Now, I do believe what's going to be happening is actually we will be rolling over potentially to the downside and actually heading to the bottom of this range again. So we're just looking for that entry to come here on this market. So we need some more rejections. Okay, we need some more indication that sellers are looking to enter this market. Now, we do have a strong sort of supply zone here. Okay, so an area whereby we could see this turnaround, we could see this turnover, and this is obviously where we're going to be looking to enter this market. So nice and high, and then looking to take it down towards the bottom of the range. Jumping onto EURCAD, again, sort of similar scenario. We're in a bit of a range at the moment, okay, ranging between this 1.52 level and this 1.50 level, so about 200 pip range. But we have created these lower highs, and we do have a lot of wicks on the upside, okay, which basically means that there are sellers involved at this point. Now, if we come onto the daily, we've got this big bearish engulfing candle that's popped in as of Friday last week, and therefore signifying to us that potentially this is the start of that downward movement to that 1.50 level. If we can catch this at the right point, and again, we use these Fibonacci levels, we're using the support and the resistance that we have marked on here, and we're looking at previous wicks to be able to identify when the perfect time to enter is. Ideally, we would like to enter back up into this red zone, maybe this 1.512 if we're lucky, otherwise anywhere in between 1.51 and 1.512. If we see those rejections, we will be looking at actually taking this market short. EURGBP is another one I really like. I do expect some bullish momentum actually to come on GBP this week. And we've come and popped into this zone where I do believe we could be creating that new lower high and actually looking at creating a new swing to the downside on this market. So a potential sort of 100-130 pip trade currently. Again, just sort of watching and waiting to see that price action, to see if we can get some indication that buyers are losing control here. And if they are losing control, then the sellers can come in and actually take this market lower. So that's what we're looking for in EURGBP. So a slight fall in that. So we'd expect some euro weakness this week. Euro NZD also at quite a critical level as well, and as you can see, we are kind of triple topping right now. So we've got a lot of resistance on this upside around this 1.7050 level, and if we can see this rejection come through here on this around this 1.7050, then we could potentially see this market coming down at least to the bottom of this range before then probably retesting the trend line that we have just up here, and then actually hopefully heading lower. First target would be that new major level of 1.6950. Euro USDs, okay, so where we are right now, again, we've got this similar sort of scenario where we're coming to attempt to kind of break to the upside, but we're really failing with a couple of strong wicks and strong formations coming here. So what we'd ideally like to see is another rejection of this 1.1250 level, and actually seeing this market then come a little bit lower. So that's Euro USD. As you can see as well on this sort of longer term time frame, you can actually see that the high, you've then created a new lower high, another lower high, and now potentially another lower high. So this is where we need to just focus on catching this swing to the downside, potentially even taking out this previous low of 1.11. Jumping into GBP pairs. GBP pairs, as I mentioned, I do expect some bullish momentum first of all, so I do expect this GBP Aussie dollar to potentially come up first, but what I'm ideally looking for, I probably won't look at any short positions here, is ideally I'll be looking at around the 1.8750 region to identify some rejections and some reason to actually go short on this market. Okay, it's created quite a strong high, and after a lot of bullish momentum as well, it could definitely be turning and creating another lower leg. Okay, so if we just jump onto the weekly time frame, you can see very clearly that we have come to this point twice now, so we're almost double topping at this point. So this could be a very interesting trade to actually start to take this market down into the low 1.80s. GBPCAD, very similar. Okay, we've got this double top formation. Again, we're just waiting for that perfect opportunity to look for that short. I do expect an upward movement on this first, so if we get that, we could be looking at actually a long position on here because the risk reward would actually work out, but again, just waiting for that perfect opportunity. GBP USD, we are in this position already, okay, already in this position, and obviously hoping for this move to the upside. We then have UJ. Okay, so UJ, again, looking for that kind of push to the upside. We have got this sort of double bottom formation that's come in here as well. We've got this range that's playing out at the moment, and now it's just looking for that reason to actually sell this, buy this market, sorry. As you can also see as well, we have started creating these sort of discrete higher lows on this market. Okay, so we could be looking at creating another higher low. And then this could be where we actually take off from here and head for the upside. Potential targets on this one, realistically, 111.5 would be a very, very bullish target. I'm not quite sure we're going to make it that high, but we do have a gap here. Okay, we do have a gap to fill as such, so it could work out quite nicely pulling up to that 111 region. And then finally, we've got gold as well. So gold at the moment, it is bearish. Okay, overall the time frame is bearish. We are in the current bullish leg. Okay, so where we're sitting at the moment, we've got this resistance that we're struggling to break currently. Okay, this resistance around 1288. Okay, 1288. So that's sort of 3 times now we've come up to it to reject it. Now I would like to see this market come up higher, come up to this sort of 1293, 1295 level before actually looking to short this market, just for the safest opportunity to do so. So we'll watch that one this week. And then finally, just to cover the other market that we are actually in already, we've also got our position currently on CAD CHF. Now CAD CHF actually opened up lower, which was nice to see. We have a long-term Fibonacci region in here. We also have a lot of rejection from the upside, and we've now broken this lower boundary. So I think we should be heading down to that 7450 level, another 70 pips or so, which I believe is where we've set our target. Hopefully we can get that come through this week. So guys, thanks for listening. Hope you find it useful, and let's have a good week.